The Kerbylon project was a dream given form. Its mission, to slip the surly bonds of Kerbal, to explore outer space, to reach for the horizon, to seek to strive, to never fall, to not go quietly into that good night. This is the Kerbylon project. Hello and welcome back to the Kerbylon project. The moon mapping mission has gone well, as you can see here. Now I did have two moon mappers, one on a polar orbit and this one on a 45 degree, and the polar orbit one was further out. Well, actually no, they were both 100k, but for some reason there was an explosion on this one. Now I can still go into it and it still appears to be there and it still appears to be mapping, but I can't control it anymore because something blew up MacLeod, the autopilot. So, well, that's a bit strange. Don't know what happened there. I was at times 10 warp. I turned it off and he blew up. But it's not too much of a problem because this one here is still okay. This one actually still has fuel, so if really necessary, I can, redo the orbit. But as you can see, we've got pretty good coverage here. There's a few small stripes still missing, but in general, we've got it all. And if I turn on artifact positions, we can see that there are 3 on the moon. So we can, let me just stop that thing from tumbling. So there are 3 on the moon, but I think we want to have a look at the ones that are on Earth first. So let's go to the Space Center, go to the tracking, and look at our... We still have our 2 Kerbylon satellites, and they've been filling in the last of the gaps. So it doesn't matter which one I check, I just want to have a look at the map. There we go. So, let me turn off artifact positions for a moment, and turn on the Kerbal Space Center indicators. So of those 2, we're the one on the right. Okay, so that's where, this is where we are, if you try and remember where that is. And if I turn on the artifacts, now the artifact just to the north, we've had a look at that one, but there's one off to the west, and then there are 3 others which are worth taking a look at. So there's 4 in total. Actually, I'm counting 5 there. Artifact positions. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes, okay. There are 4 others which we want to take a look at. Sorry, the satellite was going a little nuts for some reason. That seems to happen sometimes for some reason. You come in and just it starts spinning. So we may as well start with the ones closest to us and work our way out. I've been designing myself a robotic rover and the launch vehicle to get it anywhere on Kerbylon. I don't think it's quite got the power to make it to the moon, but for now we don't need that. So if we turn this on, we want to check out that one which is a little bit off to the west. So let's get to the Space Center. And if we go here and we want the Mech Rover, although I think we should give it a more specific name, because now this thing is is actually launching as part of a proper mission. There we go. So this is a 4-stage rocket, or 4 main stages. There's a stage that gets it into orbit, and then there's a stage which does the landing and so on. So I've given this a few test flights and it seems to work rather well. It will get anywhere on the planet, I think, assuming I don't give it stupid instructions. Now the first one is just a very short hop away, but we may as well go with the entire vehicle. So this is a Mech Rover. but it's investigating Artifact 2. Artifact 2 Mech Rover. The rover is this little thing on the top with a little mech jeb to control it. I've stuck a map satellite, a satellite dish on it, because that way we will be able to bring up the map, which will give us coordinates and stuff. If I don't actually have the mapping dish on a craft, then I can't access the map. So, Artifact 2 Mech Rover, let's... RT2 Mech Rover, a little too long. So, save that. And go for a launch. Just waiting for the frame rates to settle down a little bit. Okay, so what we want is, because this one's not going to have to go all the way to orbit, I just want the landing autopilot up, and I need to give it the coordinates of this one here. So that's minus 0.9, minus 81. Minus 0.9 and minus 81. Let's just double check that I remembered that correctly. I'm just going to put that, it's a little tricky. Oops. And it's frozen. Come on, come on. There we go. Alright. So just trying to get that into the centre as best I can. I think that'll get us close. Now, I can't just hit land at target because we aren't in the air yet. But what I can do is take off, fly towards it, and you can see here that it's mainly that we are to the east, so I will want to fly west. I'm only getting about 20 frame rate on this, which isn't that good. I'm not quite sure why. Oh well. And once I'm in the air, this thing is going to predict our landing position. So once we've got a predicted landing position already of minus 81, then I will hit land at target. That's because this, what the landing autopilot will do is it will descend you to your target. But if your ballistic trajectory isn't enough to reach that target already, then in general it gets confused. So let's give this a go. Delicate controls, I think. Turn the SAS on. Set the throttle. And let's do the first stage. Oh, I've done this thing again where I've left my cursor there, so pressing space doesn't do anything. There we go. Take off. And we'll bank straight off to the west. And we're looking at the predicted landing site. Oh, that's far too much. Let's get a little more vertical. Let's get a little more vertical. So you can see that the direction isn't bad. Just trying to keep us going up here. What we need is that east direction to reach minus 81. Then I will cut thrust, stage, until it's just the lander, and then I can use the landing autopilot. Because that's the other thing, is the landing autopilot won't do any staging for you. So yes, this is not efficient because this thing is designed to orbit normally, but this just seems the easiest way to get over there. Okay, we're losing those liquid fuel boosters, but we've got plenty of fuel left. I don't want too much height, so I'm trying to hold it here. I don't actually have a normal SAS module, so this thing doesn't have an autopilot. So this stage I am actually having to fly manually. So you can see that my direction of travel is just above the horizon, because this thing isn't an aeroplane. That's what I want. It means that I'm mainly going sideways. Now I'm surprised by how much time and fuel this is taking. Maybe going into orbit and then coming down would have been the way to go. I'd have had to circle the entire planet before I got there, but... Okay, come on now. We just need that thing to reach minus 81. Losing control of the craft a bit. I'm going to turn off delicate controls. I might get slightly more pitch authority. Nope, we're actually starting to head down now. I'm pulling up for all I'm worth here. But I think, even though we're starting to head down and down more and more, we're almost at minus 81. There's a chance this will work. There's also a chance that I should have put some wings on this thing. Sort of try to turn it into an into some form of aeroplane. I am pulled back completely on this thing. Okay, we're going to try staging at this point. Come on, point up, point up. Pull up, pull up, pull up, pull up, pull up, pull up. There we go. So, we've actually... we're going to run out of fuel, though. There's a very vague chance we can make this. I'm going to try hitting land at target. Okay, we've got the tiniest amount of fuel left. I've hit land at target, but I think we're a couple of degrees short. Should probably have just gone for an orbit. That's what this vehicle was designed to do, and that's what the test flights were all about. Yeah, no, my predicted landing is 17.1 kilometers east of the target, so we didn't get there. And that's a bit too far, I think, to drive. Ooh, trees! I've never seen trees in person on this thing. I've seen them in people's videos and so on. And that was quite a clumsy landing. Oh dear, oh dear. Yeah, that isn't helping. We're rolling away from it. Okay. Let's do the equivalent of self-destructing this craft, which means essentially end flight. We can go. Let's get another one on the launch pad. And let's do this a bit differently. Okay. The thing we want to land at is... Oops. Is west of us. So, let's go with the ascent autopilot, but give it an inclination of 180 degrees. Now, 0 means I fly off towards the east. So this will actually just fly us off towards the west as if we were going for an orbit. I'll keep an eye on this projected landing thing, and once that gets to the minus 81, then I'll do it. Probably should have just done this to start with. I shouldn't have tried flying it manually. So let's give this a go. Engage. Oops. And first stage. So this thing's going to go straight up a long way before it even starts turning. Okay, it should be starting its gravity turn any moment now, and as it does so, it should pitch over to the west, and the predicted landing site should start to approach the place we actually want to be, which is essentially on this longitude, but with a latitude of -81. And I can already see that this is a lot better way of doing it. I mean, we've only just on that stage, we've got all the fuel of this stage to do, and the predicted landing site is starting to shoot up quite nicely. So what I need to do is I need to once we're about right, I want to disengage the ascent autopilot, cut thrust, and then do the landing. Okay, we're at -80, -81, so I'll disengage that and select land at target. And I think I'm going to stage at this point. So this is the only thing we're attempting to land at the target. It has just occurred to me that that thing might fly and hit the artifact, seeing as it was more or less aimed at the target as well. But you know, we have to hope that it won't. I think atmospheric drag will bring it in a bit more. So I'm not quite sure what the autopilot thinks it's doing. Its predicted landing is already pretty close. I'm assuming it's getting ready to do some form of course correction. Entire game froze there for a moment. I really wish the autopilot wasn't keeping us at this strange angle. Okay, there we go, it's doing some form of turn now. Is this thing working? Oh! It wasn't on a stage that had fuel. I forgot to press space the extra time. I think I may have screwed this up. Oh dear, oh dear. Come on, land at target. Landing step decelerating. Oh, okay, it's kicked in. We are 8 kilometers north and 4 kilometers west of the target. That was the rest of the rocket coming down. Okay, this thing's down. The question is, can we get the rover to the artifact, wherever that is? The first thing I've got to do is get the rover off this. So if I right hand click it, tell it to deploy the wheels. Now the rover is part of a mod pack, the same way the mech jebs and the maps and the map sat and the muon detectors are. I'll try and remember to put links to all these mod packs, to all the mod packs that I use in the description. The lights are another mod pack as well. Okay, so now this thing is down. I've got the tricky maneuver of trying to get this off the top of there without any of it breaking, and that's not as easy as I would like, but I can't think of any other way to get this thing down. So first I stage. Okay, so now I've got control of the rover. So what I need to do is turn on its rocket control systems and get ready to take off, and if I hit this radial plus, it will keep me pointed straight up. There we go. That was easier than I feared it would be. So I need to head. If I'm north of the target, then I need to head south. That makes sense, doesn't it? So which way is south? This way south. Now this thing's got its own headlights. I put these other lights on as well because these headlights are so harsh; they just sort of bleed out all detail of anything I point it at. So, what I'm hoping is that there we go. We've actually got a coordinate system here, and it shows that that's heading in the wrong direction. So I also need to head east. Never eats. I need to head this way a bit. No. I think I'm a little turned around. The landing autopilot shows shows my current coordinates. That's still going the wrong way. I'm wondering if I'm meant to head this way. Okay, both sets of numbers, the longitude and latitude, are now heading in the right direction. I've also got a muon detector, so this thing should speed up its beeping as I approach. I've still got about 8 or 9 kilometers to go, unfortunately. It would have been nice if the landing had been a little more accurate. That's definitely beeping faster than it was before. So I'm pretty certain we're heading in the right direction now. Got another 4.5 kilometers to go. Luckily this thing has like a cruise control, so I only need to worry about steering. Speaking of steering, this is quite a steep hill. Don't give me frame rate drops. Oh, it's frozen. Okay, I had to put the handbrake on because I didn't know what was happening. Okay, something's messing with the frame rates, so I'm just going to pause for a moment and see if I can find out what. Okay, we're back, and hopefully we'll get slightly better frame rates. I told my computer to stop doing some things that I probably should have told it to stop doing before I started recording this. Right, let's keep going. We've got 4 kilometers to go. Well, to coin a phrase, whoops. This is going to be trickier than I thought it would be. Yeah, maybe trying to go over that mountain wasn't such a good idea. So essentially it crashed. Okay, well, let's try again, and maybe this time we'll land a little bit closer. I'll see you once it's on the ground. Okay, remember to activate the stage with the thruster this time, so it's doing a course correction, which hopefully will bring us down a lot closer to that target. I think the first time I didn't give it time to do that course correction because I forgot to stage fully. So this thing's predicting that it will land about 400 meters away from the target. Of course, I don't know whether that whether the coordinates I've given it are actually where the artifact is. That's just my best guess based on the map. Wow. Talk about fail. This thing's still here. Wow, it just utterly failed to brake. That just doesn't seem to want to work, rather annoyingly. Okay, we're going to go with it's more or less on the equator, so we're going to go with a normal orbit and land from orbit rather than all this in the atmosphere nonsense. That last one though, I really don't know why that didn't work. So this thing will autopilot all the way into orbit. Okay, so this thing's about to do the circularization burn. Basically, where it'll stabilize the orbit at 71 kilometers. Now, the launch stage won't quite get it there, so it'll use some of its own fuel to finish it off. But I actually designed it to do that because that way, the only thing which gets into orbit is the rover lander itself. The rest of the rocket will just crash back to the planet and burn up on re-entry. As you can see, very little fuel from this stage is actually used to circularize the orbit. Okay, so now I will simply go landing autopilot, and we're going to have to go, we're here right now, we're going to have to go all the way around the world, but I'm going to hit land at target now because it will brake at the most appropriate point. So essentially it's warped until we reach the deorbit burn point, and then it will deorbit in such a way that we land on our target as best as possible. Landing from orbit is what the landing autopilot was actually designed for, so I'm hoping this will actually work without without any problems this time. So the first burn was to get the sort of north and south on target, and now it's doing a burn to get the east and west on target. It will try and take into account atmospheric drag on its way down because it knows it's landing on Kerbylon, but it will probably have to do some minor course corrections on the way down. If I go to the map screen for the moment, you'll see that we're actually on the far side of the planet from the target. So it's actually aiming for a landing over here while it's burning all the way over there. But that maximizes the amount of fuel needed. So its current estimate is 900 meters from the target, 900 meters west of the target, so let's just see whether or not it can actually land this time, since it utterly failed to last time. So we're down to about 15 kilometers and we're just passing over the debris from our previous attempts. So I just hope this thing actually thrusts properly, because the last one didn't. Our altitude is now 10 kilometers true. I'm keeping an eye out to try and see whether or not I can see anything which might be an artifact. Again, we are just guessing as to the rough coordinates. So hopefully this thing's getting ready to thrust. Whoa, whoa, okay, there we go. 1 kilometer up. Landing legs are going down. 600 meters. Got to thrust a bit more than that. 100 meters. Okay, this thing looks like it's going to land. And it's landed. And it's bang on target. It is it's 0 kilometers north, 0 kilometers west of the target. So we are there. But I don't really see anything. Let's zoom up a little bit. Now that isn't that quick of a muon blip. So we actually have a lander down now in the right place, but we can't actually see an artifact. I was an alien, where would I have put an artifact? So that's where that rover blew up as it was trying to climb the mountain. We're actually right in the middle of the mountain here. Tell you what, let's wait for daytime. There we go, the sun and the moon are rising. So our spaceship is there, and this was our best guess as to where the monolith was. I don't know guys, I'm not spotting anything. Well, it might not be a monolith, I'm not sure. I mean, there's these little white rocks, but they're all over the place. Can't see anything on the horizon. I'm going to check the raw data that this thing stores and see whether or not we can get a more accurate coordinate. Yes, I checked, and the MapSat data does actually list more accurate coordinates. It it lists the longitude and latitude to 2 decimal places. So I can see that we are pretty close. -9, -0.64. So for future landings I can actually use these exact coordinates, and the actual landing will be more accurate. For this time though, I think the rover should be able to get there. So first I've got to do the delicate operation of getting the rover up and off this thing. So deploy the wheels. Stage. Delicate controls. SAS, RCS. And we just gotta get up and off. No, no, no. Oh no! No, 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 no. Okay, okay. Stop, 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 stop. Okay. Did MacLeod die? No. The sat nav. Okay. I don't know what blew up. We've still got the Mu1 detector. Right, so I just have to gently... Other way, other way, other way. I can use this thing's internal gyroscopes to get it back on. Now, in case you're wondering why I've got these things on the side there, that's because these RCS... This is the RCS fuel in this little canister, and that's very explosive. That blows up almost instantly if anything hits it. So I added these supports to the side as like a bit of protection. So, what did we lose? We lost the headlights off the front. That's it. All we did was lose the headlights. If anyone can think of a better design for the lander, so this thing could get off it a lot easier, I'd be interested to hear it. Because nothing really occurs to me. I mean, might it be possible to sling it underneath somehow? I'd need the longer legs, and then it would like just drop to the surface. Dunno, tricky. Okay, so we need to get... we are currently at negative 0.901 north, and we want negative 0.64. And we are at negative 81 east, and we need negative 80.77 east. So we're pretty close. Oops. Right, so let us try not to crash straight into our spacecraft. Now the nav ball's all turned around because MacLeod is looking at the sky, so it's difficult to use... Oops, it's difficult to use that to navigate. But if I just go in a direction... Okay, north is going down, and I want it to, because it should be at... No, no, yes, because it should be at negative 0.64. So actually the number's going up, but... So, what about the other direction? Is that heading the right way or not? I'm going to avoid steep slopes if I can. Okay, if we just get our north vector down to negative 0.64. Whoa, 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 no, no, whoa, 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 hey! Just call us the Dukes of Hazzard. I better be a bit more careful as I approach these ridges. This thing's got pretty good suspension, but if it ends up sideways, then we're in trouble. Slow down. Now there is one of my now that's the landing site where I then blew up the rover. So that one was pretty accurate. Nice fast blip trace. Okay, steep hill, steep hill. Let's be careful here. In fact, this is like a cliff. Let's put the parking brake on a second, and let's just spy the land a little bit. Okay, it gets a little steep. Look, that's where one of my rovers blew up. We could go say hi to it. So yeah, so this is the thing that was a bit too steep. I better take it easy. I broke too hard. See, this is why we're sending unmanned craft. Okay. Back to the Space Center. To the launch pad. We're still trying to get an RT-2 mech rover there. This time, however, once we're in orbit, we have more accurate coordinates. We know it's east-west. That is minus 0.64 north and minus 80.77 east. Now, if it's as accurate as it was last time, the only real danger is that we'll land on top of the artifact. But we need the Ascent autopilot to start with. So we're coming in for the final landing. We are, it's estimating 300 meters from the target, although it may correct that as it starts to go down. I'm looking around to see whether I can see anything. Anything which, you know, which might be an artifact or something. It looks like I was on the wrong side of the mountain. Get a better camera angle on this. It's deploying the legs. Okay, we're down and we're supposedly 100 meters east of the target. And I'm still not seeing anything. Oh, there it is. Like, oh, there's nothing here. Oh, yes, there is. Okay. Let's stage through to the rover. SAS, RCS. Let's see about trying to get this thing off safely. I haven't put the wheels out. Oh, okay, okay. Whew. Right, let's see if we can gently roll this thing. I want to roll it in the right direction so as to avoid unnecessary damage. Nope, 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 nope. Come on, come on. Turn over, turn over. Just turn over. Okay, it doesn't want to turn over. Sometimes doing this helps, because it changes its centre of gravity a bit. Eep, eep, eep. Whoa. Okay, okay. Handbrake on. And nothing broke this time. That's good. So, let's actually get to it. It's looking very familiar at the moment. Problem is they might not all be the same, so I do kind of have to check them all out. Let's try and turn so our lights are on it. There we go. That took a lot more tries than I thought it would, considering I'm using an autopilot. You can look on the map screen. I can see where the other debris was. It's like I kept heading down that hill and it was up there. But it's there now. This little guy's going to stay here with the handbrake on, so he can sort of mark and guard the spot, you know. Yep, plenty of muons. Okay, so we finally made it here. Well, that's goodbye from the Kerbylon project. Be seeing you.